The clock read 9:12 a.m. I'd barely sipped my coffee when he called me in. His father's office was all dark wood and false authority, but now his son sat in the leather chair, leaning back like a king who'd just taken the throne. "Happy birthday," he said, smirking. "Here's your surprise. You're fired." I didn't ask why. I didn't plead. I just took the folder from his desk, the one he'd placed upside down, hoping I wouldn't look inside, and walked out. Not one tear, not one word. Backstory setup, then versus now. I'd worked for the company for 8 years, built it from a small, overlooked division into the department everyone wanted to join. I'd stayed late, fixed mistakes others made, even covered for him when his father caught him drunk at a client dinner. Back then, I thought loyalty was an investment. Turns out it was just free currency for people like him to spend. When his father retired and handed him the reins, I told myself I could adapt. But I saw the way he looked at me, not as an asset, but as a problem he wanted gone. And apparently, my birthday was the perfect day to erase me. Discovery of betrayal. I found out why before I even reached my car. That folder I'd taken, it wasn't my termination paperwork, it was a contract. My role, my salary, my clients, reassigned to someone else. Someone who'd been there less than a year. Someone he'd been sleeping with. It wasn't incompetence that got me fired, it was convenience. And in that moment, my anger froze into something sharper. Not rage, not grief. Strategy. Shift in mindset. The plan. I didn't drive home. I drove to the harbor. My husband was there, in his office above the marina, running his hands over blueprints for a new expansion. He looked up when I walked in. "I got fired," I said. He leaned back, studying me, then smiled. Slow, knowing. "What do you need?" That's the thing about marrying a man like him. He didn't deal in emotions. He dealt in outcomes. I gave him the folder, showed him the contract. He made a single phone call. By the time I left his office, the first domino had already been tipped. Execution of the plan. We started with the clients. I'd brought in the company's biggest accounts. They trusted me, not the logo on the wall. Within 48 hours, I'd met each one for coffee, told them, truthfully, I was exploring new opportunities. My husband's firm had the infrastructure ready. All they had to do was sign. Next came the supplier network. The company relied on a delicate chain of contracts, many of which were about to expire. My husband's team bought out the renewal rights before my former boss even noticed they were up for negotiation. Then, the quiet kill shot. We acquired the commercial lease for their flagship location. The building owner, an old friend of my husband, had been waiting for an excuse to replace them with a higher-paying tenant. We gave him one. Climax, the confrontation. 4 days after my surprise firing, my ex-boss called me. I didn't answer. By the time the missed calls hit 98, I knew it was time. I walked into the building unannounced. The lobby was chaos. Phones ringing, staff whispering, clients storming out. He was in his office, pale and sweating. "You can't do this," he said the moment I closed the door. "Can't?" I tilted my head. "You took my job, my team, my work, on my birthday. I took your company on a Tuesday." I slid a folder across his desk. Inside were the final contracts. His clients, now ours, his suppliers under new terms, his lease ending in 60 days. He flipped through them, each page stripping the color from his face. "How?" "You gave me the motive," I cut in. "I already had the means." Resolution, the release. I left him sitting there, staring at the paperwork like it was a death sentence, which, in a way, it was. By the end of the month, his company would be gone. The building would bear my husband's name, and the people who'd built the success, my people, would be working for us, at better pay, with better terms. That night, my husband poured me a glass of wine on the balcony. Below us, the harbor lights reflected off the water, steady and bright. "Happy birthday," he said. This time, I smiled. Because the best gifts aren't wrapped. They're dismantled, piece by piece, until there's nothing left for the person who thought they could take everything from you.